Well, we are starting to get used to this. Another round of rain and hail hitting in the Denver area. The video from Parker showing some of the small hail that fell there this afternoon. It did pile up in some spots, but we've also gotten reports of hail being up to an inch big in Parker.
We're making up for previous years. We're seeing a lot of dark skies over Coors Field again. A severe thunderstorm warning around DIA, which has caused a ground stop. It's happening a lot. Kathy's joining us now with this storm and where it's going.
Hi, you guys. We're tracking a line of thunderstorms that extends just to the north of the Bar Lake area, right down through Castle Rock. Severe thunderstorm warning does include Denver, specifically eastern sections of the urban corridor and the metro area. Had report of 1-inch diameter hail in and around the Parker and Stonegate area. This line is moving from the south to the north and has the potential to produce heavy downpours that'll just stop your car in its tracks. We've also had 1-inch diameter hail reported in and around Parker and Stonegate. The potential for that all the way up into the Foxfield area. Again, DIA in a ground stop because of the heavy rain and hail. Viewer video coming in from the Parker area showing what looks like a snowstorm as that hail is covering the ground in that area. Coming up in weather, another check of the radar, and I'll let you know if you might see rain or hail tonight.
Aurora's police chief says an officer tackled a 14-year-old, taking him to the ground before another officer shot him in an alley behind a mini-mart. Jordell Richardson's family watched body camera video of his death today.
Police say he and a group of other kids robbed a mini-mart Thursday afternoon. Officers chased Jordell, then shot and killed him. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan is outside of Aurora Police headquarters as the chief just released new information today. Cole.
Yeah, Kim, Aurora Police Chief Art Acevedo says that Jordell told responding officers that others in the group forced him to rob that mini-mart. His dying words, apparently captured on body camera, included, quote, "I don't know them," and, quote, "they made me do it."
Joyful, funny. He loved to be with his family, his little sister, his big brother.
Jordell Richardson's mom says she can't understand what happened. Why Aurora police shot and killed her 14-year-old son.
But whatever the situation was, my son did not have to get murdered.
There are no words that I can express.
This morning, the chief told her and us new information about the situation. He says a sergeant in the gang unit spotted Jordell and others wearing hoodies and masks near this mini-mart Thursday afternoon. The sergeant called for backup. But before more officers arrived, the chief says the group held up the store, stole some vape cartridges, then scattered. 2 officers chased Jordell down this alley. 1 tackled him to the ground.
You can see very quickly him and hear him yell, "Keep up, get your hand off the gun," words of that nature.
Within seconds, the chief says, the second officer shot the teenager. Police say Jordell had a semi-automatic weapon.
And they couldn't think of nothing else to do to make the situation, to help the situation, only just shoot my son in his abdomen while he's on the ground after they tackled him down. He didn't have the gun out, he wasn't waving it, none of that.
Some were angry with the chief.
So you're saying you're going to release the video before the officers write statements about what happened?
Jordell's parents want accountability.
Whatever race, nationality you are, don't let this just go.
We want to emphasize, right now, all the on-the-record information we're getting is from police. We have not seen the body camera video ourselves. The family watched it today, and state law actually prohibits the police department from releasing it to the public for 72 hours. The chief says he intends to release that video. The family's attorney says it'll be released at 3 o'clock on Friday. Some of the businesses in that area also have surveillance cameras as well. Kim, Tom.
Yeah, we're seeing so much of this police body camera video these days. They're always hard to watch. This one will be tough as well. Thank you, Cole.
2 weeks after the Clear Creek County Sheriff apologized to the family of Christian Glass by saying officers failed to meet expectations, the County Board of Commissioners issued its own statement.
The board does not believe that the sheriff has adequately accepted responsibility for his central role in this tragedy or the need to swiftly correct all of the gaps in training and protocols that existed at the time of Christian's death.
The commissioners say the killing of Christian Glass last summer after he called 911 for help during a mental health crisis should never have happened. They added they are working on reforms to enable the sheriff to focus on public safety. The Glass family is getting a $19 million settlement with they are still calling for Sheriff Elber's resignation.
Road rage has left a father dead and a shooter now on the run. That's according to Aurora police. Investigators say someone shot and killed 48-year-old Stephen Qualls just before 10 o'clock last night. Family and friends say that Qualls was on his way home from a celebratory dinner. He had just gotten a job as an RTD train operator. Aurora police say there were 2 other adults and 2 small children in the car. And police say the suspect was driving erratically, heading south on Havana Street. The suspect's car and the car Qualls was in were side by side at Havana and East Idaho Place. Police saying there was a conversation between people in the 2 cars and then Qualls was shot and killed. Witnesses told police the shooter's car was a red or maroon Ford Explorer with tan trim.
Anyone saw this vehicle driving erratically, heading southbound on Havana. We're asking anyone who might have seen it to call us. If they have dash cam video, that's even better. Anything that can help us locate the suspect.
Police say they're specifically asking for people who might have seen something while on Havana between Alameda and Idaho Place at around 9:50 last night.
The court has officially charged the woman accused in the death of her 5-year-old daughter. Alexis Nelson faces charges of child abuse, tampering with a body, and attempting to influence a public servant. Family says they last saw the 5-year-old on May 3rd. Police believe they found her remains inside a utility closet at Nelson's apartment in Aurora last week. Through a search warrant, detectives say they also found that Nelson did several Google searches asking questions like, can you overdose from melatonin? Can you overdose from Xanax? The Aurora County Coroner's Office is still looking to identify the remains.
Little less than 2 hours left to vote and help determine the next mayor of Denver. Polls across the city will close at 7 o'clock. So if you're in line at 7 o'clock, you'll still get to vote. But there's a warning. It's obviously too late to mail your ballot. Now, Kyle Clark had a chance to talk to both of the mayoral candidates yesterday, and he joins us now live with some of their parting thoughts as we get to the deadline. Kyle?
Yeah, Tom, I was interested in the way that the candidates see this race because we know that this race is important. It's Denver's first open mayoral race in 12 years. We know that it could be historic. Denver could elect its first female mayor in Kelly Brough if they choose her over Mike Johnston. But honestly, at times this race, this runoff has felt sleepy, lethargic, not particularly animated. Why could that be? Well, the fact is, both of these candidates come from Denver's Democratic political establishment. They get along personally. They don't disagree on a lot of the issues. So whereas if this race had had a very progressive challenger and a more centrist challenger, things might have gotten fiery. This one never did. I sat down and talked to these candidates who have been side by side with each other for months now to ask what they like most and least about the campaign. And not surprisingly, they're starting to even sound like each other. Last question I'm going to ask you in this campaign. What have you liked the most and what have you disliked the most about the process of running for mayor?
I've liked the most just the very grassroots nature of it. I've liked being in people's living rooms and coffee shops all around the city, and you get to have real in-depth conversations, you get to know each neighborhood really well.
You know what I've loved the most is being with people in their neighborhoods, in their coffee shops, in their living rooms, talking about real issues with real people who just want their lives to be improved and are looking for a mayor who can help them do it.
I think probably next time around we could benefit from a debate commission to say, I think Kelly and I did maybe 25 or 28 in the runoff. And I think that while I totally understand why every neighborhood wants to have it engaged, I think there would have been a chance to say, let's do 5 or let's do 8 and make the whole city really pay attention to those in a way that gets people's focus.
Probably the thing I like least is a whole lot of talking, not a lot of doing, and I'm a doer. I'm ready to go to work and I'm excited to do it, and I hope I get the chance to.
So I'll just say, and I'm not looking for sympathy, this is my job, but I listen to about 20 of those mayoral forums so that you at home don't have to, looking for any inconsistencies, holes in their logic, saying one thing in one place, one thing in another. And the fact is we didn't hear a lot of that in this race. Both Kelly Brough and Mike Johnston are experienced, longtime politicos who know how to craft a message and stick to it. So the fact is they've made some pretty clear pledges about what they want to do. They haven't been vague about a ton. So I guess that's one thing that voters can feel great about. Whether they feel great about having a true choice between 2 different governing philosophies, I'm not really sure that that's there. But that's what folks selected in the first round.
Yeah, that's the way that people chose. So we will see what happens tonight. Voting stops at 7. Kyle's coming back at 6 for Next with Kyle Clark. Thanks, Kyle.